Stone Vet. I hit the ground running when I'm invading your country. It's still with honor and discipline. Throw my guns like onyx, dressed in camo with ammo for every situation I handle. They got us marching this.
What's up, guys? Sergeant G here from the STONED VET USMC. Super excited to be here with you guys, man. This is freaking amazing. Like I said, I come to you guys every week, 3 times a week right now, is it? Yeah, 3 times a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I got to remember. I keep forgetting, man. There's so much crap going on here in the house lately, man. We're like 6 weeks out, 5 weeks out before we move into the new house. It's getting really close, starting to get everything cleaned up, lined up. Like I said, you guys probably won't be getting me for at least a month or so, so I'm trying to record as many as I can. So all I got to do is just edit these videos and get them to you guys on a weekly basis, right? I'm super excited to be here today, man. Like I said, you see that, right? You guys see that? Winner of the Top Marine Corps podcast. That's like I tell you guys every week. I can't do it without you. This is your podcast. I'm doing this for you guys on a weekly basis to help make it feel like you guys got somebody you can hang out with and bullshit with on a weekly basis, man. We all know what that feeling is like whenever we are trying to figure out what the hell am I supposed to be doing? Where's life going? What do I do here? What do I do there, right? We don't know. We're trying to find our purpose. But like I tell you guys, this is your podcast. You guys come at me and tell me what you want to hear. Right now, my big push is for federal legalization of cannabis. You guys know this as well as anybody else, man. So I'm super excited for that. Hopefully by the time you guys watch this episode, I'll be a new winner over at Chronic Palooza, winning a new award for top podcast, right? Because I can tell you guys, the people I'm going against are not doing anything that I'm doing. They're not even at my level. I'm just telling you guys, right? You know, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Raffle 180. Raffle 180 provides you the best medicinal grade CBD on the market. So I can tell you guys on a weekly basis. Don't tell me CBD doesn't work, because CBD does work. The biggest problem is trying to figure out how to get the proper dosing so that you know exactly how it can help you and help treat your ailments. One of the biggest things we struggle with on a weekly basis is sleep. We suck at getting sleep. We average between 2 to 4 hours of sleep every night. If you're only getting 2 to 4 hours of sleep every night, why not make it the best night of sleep you can get? Go over to raffle180.com. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com. When you go there, the first thing that pops up says time for sleep. You click that banner. It's going to take you to 2 amazing products. You got Sapphire that has CBN in it, and Night Ops that was created with radio frequency minerals. The radio frequency minerals were there to be able to absorb into your bloodstream quicker. And it's not a sleep aid like it's going to help you go to sleep. What it's going to do is help turn your mind off so you're not thinking about the 47 things you got to do tomorrow, so you can actually go to sleep and get the rest that you need. So go check out raffle180.com. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com to get all your medicinal grade CBD needs. When you check out with the STONED VET USMC, you get 15% off your entire purchase. Spend $85 or more, you get free priority shipping to your front door. It's amazing, dude. It's better than Amazon. I'll tell you right now. I think the longest I've seen was 3 days, and that was across the country. So go check out raffle180.com, man. I'm super excited today because, right, you guys see this, right? The STONED VET USMC. But if you take a look at my guest to my left, maybe you'll right, however you're watching this. You see this? The Stone Sailor, dude. I'm super excited to be here with another freaking brother who has the same damn mission that this STONED VET has, with providing you guys with medical freedom. What's up, Rob? How you doing today?
Let me exhale. Hold on. I'm doing great, my brother. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to a very good relationship with you going forward. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I'm loving the logo, brother. I guess we both had the same image in mind, right? When we decided to design this, right? We both got our freaking got our damn veteran with the blunt in his mouth and our covers on, right?
That's it. Mm-hmm. You got it. This is from my dream. This is what I dreamt.
Right. Absolutely, brother. So yourself, man. So yourself, right? So you spent some time in the Navy, right? You were a badass in the Navy, though, right? From what you were telling me, you was pretty much of a badass in the Navy.
I was just, you know what? My dog was a badass. I just held a leash. I just had a really cool job. I was a military police canine handler, you know, and I had an opportunity to make a whole career out of that, you know, 2 decades of just having fun, walking dogs and shooting guns all day. It wasn't a job. It was a fucking hobby, bro.
That sounds pretty amazing, dude. A lot of people don't have the luxuries of having a cool ass job while serving,
You know? I really, man, how this happened to me, looking back at my background and my life, I would pinch myself. I couldn't believe that I would be on, you know, doing bomb suites for Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld with the Secret Service and shit. Like, you know, I was just some punk kid coming from South Philadelphia, My father was in prison for murder. You know, everybody in my family was in jail. They didn't have any expectation of I would ever amount to anything in my life. You know, people would tell me you're going to go to prison like your father, you know, this and that. And, you know, I joined the Navy and my life has been a miracle ever since.
Ain't that crazy, bro? Ain't that? But I mean, that's how a majority of us are, man. Me being a jarhead, you guys already know how we are as jarheads, dude. Majority of the time is like you said, man. You're gonna end up like your father. You're gonna end up like your uncle. You're gonna end up like whoever. You're gonna end up locked up. You ain't got shit going for you. So we joined the military, right, to get out of where the hell we at, right? To get out of the situation that we were put in and try to make a better life for ourselves, you know. And that's one of the things my wife tells me. She's like, I love Marines because y'all are fucking broke. All you motherfuckers are broken. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you damn right. A majority, 90% of us are broken, and we're trying to figure out what the hell do we do now? So we joined the military, right? Yeah. And a lot of the time, the Marines are like, well, it was either this or go to jail for 4 years. And I was like, I might as well join the Marine Corps and keep my freedom at least, you know? Yeah. And I was like, that makes a better point itself, right?
Yeah. So,
you know, so definitely. I mean, how long were you in the Navy for?
I was in it for 20 years.
20 years?
And I did that, And I had active and reserve time, but I had over 13 of active.
Oh, no shit.
So I was fucking, I was having a great time, man. Yeah, I always had a great time. I just loved it, you know. I just loved it. I've been on ships, I had dogs. I was a firearms instructor, non-lethal weapons instructor, all military police, master at arms. You know, I was the chief master at arms of the USS Mount Whitney. That's the 6th Fleet flagship. I investigate all the crimes, bring guys to office hours, everything. You know, I did that all day, bro. I used to run the urinalysis test. I was the coordinator.
Ain't it funny though how you see yourself? How you're doing one thing one way, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Fuck, dude! Like seriously? Like what in the hell was I thinking?" You know?
Well, I wasn't a campus guy before I got. Remember, when I retired, I got a job working in the federal prison. So the people that used to tell me I was going to go to prison like my dad were kind of half right. I did end up in prison, but I ended up as a correctional officer for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So from there, I mean, I had a pretty crazy life. Like I said, my dad was in prison for murder. The guy that my dad murdered, they retaliated on us, killed my sister, burnt my house down to the ground. So my whole life, I was fucking, you know, I was born into chaos, man.
Right.
You know, and everyone around me was dealing drugs, going to prison. And I was taught from a young age, you know, like how to hide drugs, how to hide guns, how to fucking, you know, get away with shit, you know. So when I got into the Navy Police Academy, they thought I was like God. Because I would be like, because when we would do like all these different scenarios, I'd be like, he's got it in his sock. Wait, he's got a weapon. He keeps touching his pocket. Come here, put him on the wall, search him. So like, I just remembered all the shit the cops would do to my cousins and my brother and shit. So I would just, so they thought, they were like, holy shit, this guy's God. So I was like the number one graduate in my fucking Master at Arms. I was the number one graduate. I graduated and I got a letter of accommodation from the CO of the Air Force and the Navy because it's a joint school.
Yeah.
And because I was number one, and I'd never been number one in anything in my entire life. It was to the point where I was like, are they kidding me? All these people with all these medals on, like ribbons. I'm like, they're really saying I'm not a piece of shit? It was like, is this a joke? Ashton Kutcher's going to run out and say punk. Any moment. This is a fucking joke, right?
Right.
And because I was number one, they allowed me to get a C school. And that's how I ended up picking canine. When I went to watch the canine demonstration across the street at Lackland at the Medina side, the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
When I saw that guy come out in a squared away uniform, and I mean creases you can cut your fingers on and shit, and he had a beautiful German Shepherd, and the guy's out there in the field with the Gumpy suit on, and we let the dog go. The dog tackled him on the ground, and I said, "That's it. That's my life. I want to do that." And then I just, next thing I know, because I was the honor grad, I rolled right into canine school, which was like unheard of. Right. You don't ever get,
No
so
shit,
that
man.
launched my career.
That's crazy though. I mean, that's great though, because I mean, from where you were to be actually get into the Navy, to be able to do something like that, to have a K9, right? I mean, that I bet you it changed your career significantly to be like, this is gonna be cool. This
man. Job,
You know,
definitely, man. And I had awesome. You know, I traveled everywhere. I did 2 tours to Iraq. Worked with the Army, worked with the EOD teams doing counter IED, route clearing, did some stuff with the the ODA guys, the Special Forces guys, some sweeps, just sweeps. They would have me sweep and get in a car, and then they would go fucking just destroy something, and it was just like, I'm just there with a dog. I'm not there because I'm Rambo. I'm there because the dog can smell bombs, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm fucking, it's like, oh, we want you, Steven Seagal, about with us. I'm like, they're like, oh, that dude's got a bomb detection dog. Bring him so we can have him sweep everything. So
no shit, right? Bring him out here so we can sweep, guys, because that's what we need. We just need him to come out here to do this.
Yeah. I'm like, shit, I get to ride with the fucking, I was riding with the infantry guys, 3rd Infantry, 7th Regiment out of Fort Stewart. I was with an infantry unit, and I was in combat, and I was a Navy sailor out there, and they would call me Sarge, but because I was an E5 at the time with them guys.
Right.
And at first they would salute me like I was a colonel, because they see the crow and they think I'm a fucking colonel. I would have guys salute me like all over these bases, like all these FOBs in Iraq, because I would be the only Navy guy attached to the fucking Army.
Right.
Because I was the first group of handlers to deploy in combat since Vietnam.
No shit.
Because the Army and the Marine Corps and the Air Force, the handlers were getting out in droves, So they needed them. So they started tapping the Navy and say, come on, you got to come play Army. And I volunteered and I went.
No shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I went, awesome, man. My dog found a lot of weapons and hopefully saved a lot of lives over there. I know that.
Right.
And, but it was an experience, man. I was, of course, I was fucking gung ho and crazy. It was a chance. They sent me to 2 weeks of combat readiness course out of Fort Bliss. I think it was in El Paso, where I brought my dog, and I would have to low crawl and all that. And I taught the dog how to low crawl. I had to teach him that and shit, and we're learning how to crawl and, going through the Army basic combat course. It's like 2 weeks, they have a mock city and shit.
Yeah.
We go in there and conduct raids and shit like that, and convoys. And then I got attached to an infantry unit and I was out fucking running and gunning every day, man.
That's crazy, bro. That man, so you had like
during the election. I was there during the elections, the first elections.
Oh yeah, no shit, yeah. Because I went out there when I was out there in 2003, and I went back again in 2005. So I know exactly. I mean, I know what you're talking about and stuff.
Yeah, that's when I was there. 2004, 2005 is when I came back for the elections.
Yeah, for the elections and stuff, and I remember those. I mean, it was very hectic at that time, And so with that, I mean, it sounded like you had a great career.
Chaotic, man.
Like you had a great career.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was sweeping we were securing all them voting stations. I was bomb sweeping them and making sure that they could vote and all that shit,
Yeah.
A lot of work, man, leading up to those elections.
No, absolutely, bro. I believe it. I mean, and especially you, what you were doing with the dog handling and stuff. I'm sure they had you right up in the front, like, hey, you got.
Oh yeah, I was.
You got to smell these people coming in. Yeah.
They had listen. We went out right before a mission. They gave me a briefing once and said there was a $75,000 bounty on me and a $155,000 bounty on the dog. 75 on me, 150 on the dog from a sniper. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, just swallowed my nuts. You know what I mean? It's bad enough I'm out in the front. I'd have they would send 2 fucking privates out, one to the right, one to the left, to cover while I would have the dog on a 15-foot leash, searching areas and shit. And then I got like 40 guys behind me waiting for me to give them the up or down that it's okay. And I'm thinking, damn, I hope Art doesn't have a bad day today, because if he does, we're all dead.
We're all fucked, right? Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So I mean, you did 20
Yeah.
years. You did 20 years of service. You retired after 20
Yeah.
years, which is great. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people can do that, right? And not a lot of people can say, I'm gonna retire after 20 years, you know, because I mean, like I tell people, you know, a lot of people make fun of Marines because they say it don't matter, dude. They do 4 years and their Marines forever. And I was like, because in the 4 years that we're in, we done did more shit than you do in the 20 years that you served. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these Air Force guys always giving Marines shit, right? Man, why'd you get out after 4 years? Or even the Army guys, why you get out after 4 years and join the Army or whatever? It's like, dude, you don't understand. I did 9 years and I was like, golly, dude. I mean, it tore my ass up for 9 years.
The Marine Corps, they really don't push guys to stay. They try to get you guys, very rare, because they're so small. You know, the guys that they let retention are like really the top of the top,
right?
You know?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They try to keep those guys in, and you and I both know those guys that get those kind of pros and cons are the ones that are spending a lot of time with their heads kissing someone else's ass.
Someone else's ass, right?
Not doing their job. Those are the type of guys that get those nice proficiency and conduct reports.
No shit, right? No, I actually just had a guy he's a master, so he retired. He just retired. I remember when we were sergeants together, we were E5s together over in Lejeune area, and he retired. He just retired, but I was like, he was a damn like a generator electrician is what he was, and he retired out of Washington D.C. I was like in 8th and I said, how the hell are you a generator operator, and you're going to Washington D.C. You ain't doing your fucking job. You doing whatever fucking. I was like, you just goat roped the last 4 years of your career so you can retire.
You're you're some kind of age. You're exactly these made up little fucking jobs they give their guys, the favorites.
Right.
You know, what do they call the feather merchants? The old timers used to call them feather merchants.
Right. No, absolutely, brother. I was like,
office pogues and kiss ass all day.
That's what I think. I was like, what the hell
all day, working all day, not a fucking.
I was like, what the fuck did you do? Like, you went to
fucking fobbits, man. We used to call them fobbits.
Right?
The fobbits.
You went to DC,
fucking fobbits.
You never did your job, dude. You were working in DC, you never did your job. I was like, what the fuck did you really do, you know? I was like, whatever. I got another brother. When I was stationed in Hawaii, he was my neighbor. We were both sergeants at the same time. But this motherfucker, like, he graduated MOS school, and then he got stationed in Louisiana. He was there for 4 years, and then he went to Hawaii, and he got stationed with Joint Forces in Hawaii. And I was like, dude, are you ever gonna serve with Marines? Like, you've been in 8 years, and you ain't even served with Marines once yet. And then he told me I was getting out. I just finished up my 9 years, and I was getting out. And he's like, dude, I'm going to 8th Comm. I said, you going to 8th Criminals in Lejeune? He's like, yeah. I was like, damn, they fucking hooked you up, dude. You ain't never 8 years. You never served with Marines. They're gonna send you over to 8 Criminals over in Lejeune. I was like, damn, they hooked you up. He went over there. He was there for 3 months and then went to DI school. I was like, you motherfucker, dude. He went to DI school and now he's stationed in San Francisco. I was like, what fucking Marines are in San Francisco, dude? There are no fucking Marines in San Francisco. I said, he's a master sergeant now, and I'm like,
Hollywood Marine. Hollywood Marine.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you ain't never gonna serve with Marines.
He's probably a Presidio there at the language place.
Yeah, I was like, you gonna be in 20 years and never serve with Marines. I was like, how the fuck does that career work?
These guys, they get orders like that, and they get their things. They get hooked up. They get Joint Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation medals, and it's good on their evaluations. I know that. Look, I'm giving people shit. I'm military. I'm giving guys shit. I know admin people do absolute wonderful things, and I don't need to be worrying about my pay and shit while I'm downrange. I'm just giving shit. But yeah, there are people out there that, just like in any job, especially like the Army or the Navy and the military, you got your brown nosers that get these great orders and get these great duty stations and don't do their job. They don't know shit of their job, but they look really fucking good on paper. You know what I'm saying? So
I know, bro. That's why I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, I'm like, fucking shit, dude. I told my wife, I said, if I had a cool ass job, I would have spent 20 years in too. If I would have got some cool ass bullshit bogus assignment, I would have stayed in 20 years too.
Think about it. If you look at a guy, let's say you get a Marine and he's a 20-year infantry guy or an Army 20-year infantry guy. And then you go and you have an Air Force, I don't know, fucking aviation or mechanic or something. And after 20 years, you look at the difference, the damage to their body is going to be significantly different.
Yes.
That mechanic or that administration clerk, Navy personnel specialist, they're not going to have the bad knees and the backs and shit that those infantry guys are going to have. They're going to have knees. Their knees are going to be on bone to bone, their ankles bone to bone, probably 2 or 3 surgeries, got to get 2 or 3 more surgeries. Their back's fucked up, the neck's fucked up from carrying a ruck. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No,
I mean, you can't even compare. You can't compare the damage.
You can't compare. And that's one of the things I tell these Air Force guys or these Army guys. They're always like, man, Marines, every time you go somewhere, they're always like, I'm a fucking Marine, you know? And he's like, dude, you did 4 years. I'm like, coming from a guy who did 20 years in the Air Force that never seen anything, that didn't fucking ever deploy, never saw combat, never fucking did anything to extenuate their body to an extent, you know? I'm like, dude, I said, you don't understand the shit you go through. The first 4 years in the Marine Corps, dude, they break your body down like it. Bitch, you a fucking mule now. Get your ass up and put this fucking 100-pound pack on, and we gonna hump for miles at a time, and we'll tell you when we're done. You know, I'm like that, and it's like that day in and day out. And it's like, motherfucker, dude.
There's no comparison.
No comparison at all, dude. And
no comparison, man. No comparison.
You know? I was like, you guys are just jealous because you can't say it. You can't say that you a Marine. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I was gonna be a Marine, but I don't want to hear it, dude. I don't want to fucking hear it. You know, and so I mean, that's a badass career. I mean, for what you were doing, being a dog handler and shit. I'm like you said, you got to see. Like, there's one thing to be a dog handler, but then to be a dog handler and actually see shit. You know, you got to go.
Yeah,
you got to go.
Like
play.
I said, man, you don't see too many Navy sailors. I mean, other than Navy, like, you know, of course, Navy SEALs and like corpsmen that go with the Marines. Other than that, you don't see too many fucking sailors walking around with combat action ribbons.
No,
you know
not
what
at
I'm
all.
saying?
Dude.
So
I
it
mean,
was pretty cool when I did that.
I bet dude, being able to walk in and like,
when I came back, I had it, you know, the car and then the Marines respect it. The Navy guys are like, oh, what's that ribbon there? I never seen that one.
right. No,
they've been riding ships, which is all right too, because I did ships too. I love ships, you know. But yeah, it's a lot different when you're there staring at a bullet, you know, or you got bombs going off. You're looking for bombs in the road with a dog that can't talk to you. You have to read his physical cues. So you better be fucking. You better have done your training. You know, you got to put proper training in that dog. You're gonna die. It's like packing your own parachute, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you better pay attention to that.
You got to know exactly what he's telling you.
You got to learn and you got to train your dog and be efficient. And I took pride in that. And I was very good at being a canine handler and being a military policeman. I was very good at it, actually.
No, absolutely.
It was something I took to it very quickly.
And that's something.
And
that's what people got to understand. Like, I mean, like.
And then from there, after I retired, after I retired, I went and I became first I got hired by the Federal Protective Service to our courthouses for federal, but I didn't live in Kansas City. So I took the job as a federal corrections officer over here in Ocala near Coleman, United States Penitentiary 1 Coleman. And that's when I started my career in corrections at the penitentiary. And how I ended up becoming the Stone Sailor, because I'm not a cannabis guy. Right. I was the cop. I was the fucking urinalysis. I got it, made you pee in the cup and did all that. Yeah. Well, I suffered I got an eye infection at the prison. And I went to the doctor. They thought it was pink eye. So they treated it for pink eye. A couple of days later, it got worse to the point where my eyes were bleeding. I went back to the doctor. They go, it's not pink eye, it's staph infection. It had an outbreak of staph infection in the prison. It's a very dirty environment, as you know. And from there, they gave me some medicine, and it appeared to have gone away. About 2 months later, I'm severe back pain. I go to the emergency. They tell me, they do an x-ray. They tell me, hey, you got degenerative disc disease, which I had a bad back. I mean, but this was a different kind of pain. It was like someone was really stabbing me with like a fucking ice pick.
Right.
and they didn't see any x-ray. It turned out is my staph infection went in my spine and caused an abscess.
Damn.
Which I woke up like 2 days later in the morning. I couldn't move my legs. I was completely paralyzed. From there, I got, they called the ambulance. I went into emergency surgery where they discovered that my abscess the staph infection got into my T6, thoracic 6. And from the infection, the pus leaked into my spinal column, which caused me paralyzation. They told me I was never going to walk again, that I was done from the waist down. The doctor told me as they wheeled me in, I got emergency surgery that night. He said, "You'll never walk again, son. I'm trying to save you from the waist up." So that's the news I got. So here I was. I woke the next day, my birthday, completely wrapped like a mummy, tube in my throat, tube in my penis, tube up my rear end, wrapped like a mummy, and all these doctors around me. And that's where the journey began. And that was, from there, I ended up being put on pain pills. They told me, "No, you're never going to walk again." I gave up on myself. I gave up on myself. I was trying to get liquor smuggled into me. Hey, I'm an ex-prison guard. I can get anything smuggled into me. I know how to do it. Right. So even when I was in the hospital, or if I was at the Tampa, the VA, at the thing, I was paying people to smuggle me liquor in, and I'm drinking, and I'm taking the pain pills, and I'm trying to kill myself because I don't want to live anymore.
Yeah, because they just told you can't walk. You'll never walk again. I mean, who really?
From there, I get sent. I never walk again, never have sex again. Everything's done. You're done at 45 years old. Imagine that. You go through 2 tours, combat tour, you go through all this, and now you get paralyzed by an eye infection. Fucking amazing, right? So from there, I'm taking pain pills. They're giving to me like Tic Tacs whenever I wanted them, benzodiazepine, antidepressants, everything, lorazepam, whatever I fucking wanted. Whatever I wanted, okay? And finally, they release me, and I end up with a caregiver getting taken care of in an apartment. And that's when my friend came to see me that I've known for a long time, and he said to me, he brought me a joint. And he handed it to me in the bed, paralyzed. He handed it. I go, "What do you do?" I go, what are you doing with this? I don't want this here. No. You need this. I'm like, "No, I got these. I got my Tito's vodka. I got my pills. I'm straight, bro. And I was trying to listen, I'm trying to get this guy to smuggle me a gun so I can kill myself. He won't do it. He's like, "I'm not doing that." My brother committed suicide, so years earlier, so that would have like completely killed my mom. My mom would have been like, "I'm dead now," because if 2 sons die of suicide, Right. So right. My sister was gone. Like I said, I'm the last one of my family. And he goes, "No, what have you got to lose, Robert? What have you got to lose?" Well, I said, "You know what? You're right. I figure I was always taught this right here is the gateway. You do this, you're going to be doing this. You know what I'm saying?" And it turned out this was the exit drug, because the moment I smoked this, 15, 20 minutes later, it was like I completely forgot about my trouble. I was suspended animation, and I actually had a smile. And I'm smiling, and then after an hour or so goes by, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like happy. I'm like laughing. I have an appetite. I'm watching TV. Boys, my mood really elevated. Right. And then I said to myself, I don't need liquor. I don't need all this stuff. I could just use this. That brings me down. This, I get high. It makes me happy. Hell, I'm going to start trying to do some stretches. Right. I'm going to go on the mat and lay down. I'm going to try to do some exercises. You understand? I'm daring myself. I'm high.
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle. with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
And loving it. And for months, 8-9 months, nothing works on me. Nothing's moving. I'm just numb. It's like I have jello in my limbs all the way down. Still got a catheter. Can't pee on my own. Nothing, right? So the cannabis, I'm not drinking anymore. The pain pills, I stopped that. I started sweating when I stopped it. Like I could tell I was going through a little bit of withdrawal.
Yeah.
You know, lit cannabis up, relaxed. I sweat a lot. Boom, came out of me. I knew I did not need any of that anymore. This is an extra drug. And then I said, all that shit about cannabis is a fucking lie. Those fucking pothead hippies were right. These guys were right. They were ahead of their time. They're just right. They're right. This is it. So then I said to myself, it's motivating me to work out. It's elevating me to move. It's making me a better person because I'm not snapping at everybody like when a doctor walks in, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. And they would put like frown faces on my door. Not like the doctor every morning, depending on my mood, would either put a smiley or a frown. Because I would throw them out of the room. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I would. And now I'm a fucking, I'm a smiley face, right? And I'm like, this stuff is like, my God, it's like a miracle. It made me, and I went to sleep that night, and my PTSD was helping me cope with everything and making me positive. And the medicine for PTSD, you get no feeling, no good, no bad, nothing. You just feel like you're just like the Walking Dead. Right? You have no feelings on that shit. They numb you that you can't feel nothing. Well, I don't want to feel nothing. I want to feel good. And that's what this does. So I go to bed that night and I'm sleeping and I have this vision. And I saw this in my vision. True, swear. And I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be the Stone Sailor. In my face, this logo is going to be synonymous one day with cannabis throughout the world. Because my story, they're going to hear it. And from that point, I woke up. I read this in my head. I didn't know how to draw it, though, because I'm not artistic. So before this is made, now, after no movement, nothing, 9-10 months, all of a sudden my big toe on my left foot starts to wiggle.
Oh, shit.
I couldn't believe it. I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm moving this. And everything started unlocking in my body. And as things started to unlock, I started getting the pain because that real estate comes with a high price now because now things are getting turned on. Right? And now the pain is starting to go with him. But still didn't break. Still doing this, Tylenol, some Tramadol, when it gets real bad, which is a non-narcotic. But this right here, I just toughed it out, just got through it, elevated my mood, took me to another thing. I'm not a miserable fucking ogre living in a fucking cave, yelling at everybody, And from that point, my body started locking. I went to physical therapy, I remember, and I said, listen, you're going to show me how to live my life outside of this chair. No more about how to live my life in this chair. This is how you go to the toilet from the chair, the wheelchair to the car, wheelchair to the bed, wheelchair to the fucking floor to the wheelchair. I said, I learned all that on YouTube. I was doing it myself in my own, on the mat and stuff. I'm doing my own training. I told them, you're either do it my way or it's the highway. I'm leaving. So they said, we'll do it your way. I said, okay. Then I said, put me in the water. Then they started putting me in the tank. While I'm in the tank, I was reading. I was researching aquatic therapy for paralyzation, for spinal injuries. And I was reading zero gravity, things like that. I would get into the tank. And from in the tank, I would try to run in place. I would pick my knees up. I would do exercises, because things started to come back to me. I would hold stretches. I would do things like that and swim. And I said, I had a theory. I said, well, if we're all born, we're in our mother's stomach, we're in water. Everything forms in water as human beings. Our lungs, our cells, our muscles, tendons, all form in water. So I said, let me go back to the water. Something just told me. And I started going to my swimming pool here. And instead of doing rehab twice a week, I'm doing 6 days a week. I'm going to my pool. And in my pool, I'm practicing in the little end up to like my chest, trying to get my form down, how one step, heel to toe. Because I had to learn how to re-walk all over. I don't walk now. I don't walk the same way I did before. Before I had a certain strut to me. Now I don't. I have a different walk because I had to retrain myself to walk. And working in the pool, I'm doing squats under the water. I'm running on the bottom of the pool in the little end. I'm doing everything down there, and everything's come back. Next thing I know, a year later, from being told I'm going to be paralyzed, I stand for the first time, and I got it on video. And I stood on my own, unassisted, from the chair. 6 months after that, I'm in a walker. 6 months after that, I'm on a cane. Now I could walk unassisted. I can't run, I can't run and jump on someone, run down up the stairs and jump on someone. But I could walk. I use a cane, get tired because it's like walking. Now when I walk, it's like carrying like a 100-pound weight on me, because I still have nerve damage.
Right.
But guess what else started working? Yeah, you know it. That thing started working. So then I said to myself, fuck, I got to tell the world cannabis helped me achieve all of this. Because I couldn't achieve it on their medication. I would have never achieved it on their medication. The pain pills and all that would have brought me down. You understand? That would have gave me another addiction. When you take a pain pill, you're not motivated to do nothing.
Yeah, not at all. You're
okay?
not motivated to do shit.
Then I started learning strands. I started studying. I started using, now in the morning, I would use sativa. Then when I went to the gym, I would use a ratio 1-for-1 with the CBD and the THC while I worked out. And I started cutting all those videos and all that shit. Then at night, I use an indica. So I started learning the different strands, the terpenes and the RSLs, and I tailored it to my body. People just think you buy weed from a guy and you smoke it and it got high. You don't know which strand was in there. It could have been a mix of a bunch of different strands. It could have been a hybrid. It could have been a sativa. It could have been anything. You don't know.
Right.
So you learn the strands and you realize this is all science. It's not just a bunch of guys smoking weed and all that. There's science to this. And this is a medicine. And I started educating myself about the history of cannabis and how it was all laws were all rooted they were rooted in racism. They wanted to go after the Mexican people. Then they wanted to go after hippies. And this is all on record. President Nixon saying when he started the war on drugs in 1971 with the DEA, when they scheduled marijuana as a Schedule 1, I want to go after the blacks and the hippies. They don't vote for me. So the marijuana, he put it in there. This is a fact. This is all history. Right. And Harry Enslinger for the first going back, and the hemp, and how Randolph Hearst wanted to control the paper, and the hemp was better. That on our Constitution was written on hemp. The first Bible was written on hemp. Hemp was the cash crop of the country for the first 175 years of this country.
Yeah.
Hemp has been known now fully biodegradable, plastic, good for the environment. Now they're using it to cancer cells. Okay, this is all facts. So I said to myself, I want to make sure every American should have the right to grow their own cannabis, go in their thing. Just like I go in a medicine cabinet to get a Tylenol, I should be able to go to my little plant, pick off a couple, grind them up, roll one of these, and have my aspirin.
No,
Can
absolutely.
I have my medicine, please?
Absolutely, brother.
Man,
that's the biggest
Every
goal.
American have that freedom. This is freedom.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So from there, I called. I had a friend who knew an artist. I told him my vision, and as soon as I told him, it's like he hardwired into my brain and just pulled it out, and came back and he hit it right on the head. And I said, "That's it." I trademarked it, and I said, "That's it." Stone Sailor. I want cannabis reform. I want to start my podcast, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Cannabis, and that's going to be my motto. That's my that's my my motto. Nancy Reagan told us as kids, just hugs are better than drugs. Yeah, some drugs. You're talking about cannabis. No, buds are better than hugs, Nancy. Hugs are great, but I'd rather have the buds.
Right. No, absolutely, bro. And that's the biggest goal. That's the reason I started.
Speaking of buds, I'm going to light another one up.
That's why I started the Stone Vet, is to try to help educate our community, brother. Like you said, they told you you'd never walk again, right? They told you you would never be able to walk again. They just started doing. They gave you all the pharmaceuticals. They gave you all the fucking painkillers that you wanted to deal with the pain of not being able to ever walk again, right? And that's one of the biggest goals that I have with the Stone Vet, is to provide medical freedom. It's like I tell people, you went to Iraq, I went to Iraq. 90% of our community went to Iraq or Afghanistan, right? We went and fought a war and fought for the freedom of our country. But the biggest thing that a lot of people forget is that the war's not over. Yeah, you may have served your country when you went overseas and gotten out of service, but the war still ain't over, because right now we're fighting a massive war right now on medical freedom. Our biggest goal is to be able to pull out a joint, right? Like you said, pull out a fucking joint and light it whenever we want. If our day is going to shit, we should be able to go outside.
Think about it, folks out there. Think about it, folks.
Yep.
Should someone go to prison for this?
No.
Think about it.
Not at all.
I worked in a maximum security penitentiary where I met a guy named Jamar Toronto that was serving a life sentence for this. Just this. Didn't kill anybody. Didn't put a gun to no one's head. Didn't molest a kid. He just sold this, and he got a life sentence. Thankfully, after 32 years, some judge with a brain finally let him out. After 32 years of his life, a majority of your tax dollars goes to housing people that commit a crime against themselves. How could you commit a crime against yourself? If someone wants to sit home and do cocaine, we know it's bad. They know it's bad. But if they're not committing a crime, if they haven't stepped outside their door, if they haven't robbed anybody for that habit, they don't belong in jail, because jail is not going to help them with the habit. It's going to make it worse, to make them worse.
Right.
You understand? Right.
So
this stuff, and especially cannabis, just talking about cannabis, though, right here should not be illegal. There should be nobody with a criminal record because of this. There should be nobody denied entry into a police academy or a top secret clearance because they've used this. Nobody should be that, especially when you have the people that are running this country all talk about all the drugs they use and laugh about it. And if you put that down on a fucking application for a job, they wouldn't give you a fucking job at Walmart if you told them that you do all kinds of drugs, like these polished senators tell people and laugh about it. They don't go to jail. They make laws to put you in jail. But them, it's okay. It's cool for them. Smoke to do drugs.
No, absolutely.
And
all these politicians,
and I'm calling them out on it.
No, absolutely. All these politicians that they got all these rules, right? These motherfuckers are smoking weed on a daily basis. We know it. We know it because we know the medicinal benefits that we get.
They've done worse. Worse.
Yeah, whenever we smoke a joint, we know the medicinal benefits we get. It puts us in a great mood. Our body stops hurting, and we're just sitting around just wanting to have a good time, because life's hard. We all know life is hard as hell, dude. Mm-hmm. We worry about fucking making sure the bills are getting paid, making sure we got food on the table, making sure we got this, we got that, right? But that's one of the things I tell you guys about is that it's medical freedom. It's our job as veterans to ensure that we continue fighting for our freedom. Like, nobody should be going to jail for a fucking plant. That's like going to the 7-Eleven and buying a rose for your girl and going to jail because you bought a rose. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking plant. Anybody can grow this.
Yeah.
Anybody can grow it. Anybody can consume it.
It's a flower.
It's a flower. It's a plant. Just like anything else that grows outside. It's the same damn thing. And there's no reason that we need to be fighting.
And how many plants out there that you could use every bit of that plant? Right. Cannabis, you could use every little every little minutia of that plant.
Every bit, the stems, the leaves, the fucking bud that it grows, everything. You can use the plant for everything, guys. And this is one of the biggest things. Like you guys say, absolutely. Oh, Sergeant G, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is why I do this on a weekly basis and bring a guest on my show who is advocating, who's telling you, dude, this saved my life. This literally, like Rob here, the Stone Sailor, he telling you, it saved his life. They told him he would never walk again. But his brother, who's an advocate, said, here, try this. I want you to smoke this. And Rob being like, I don't smoke weed, dude. Fuck that. It's a drug. I'm not smoking that. Because why? That's the stigma that was been placed on us.
As I into my mouth and swallow them. I don't do drugs like that. Get that joint out of here. Give me those Vicodin.
Right.
Those Oxycontin.
Give me the Oxycontin, right?
Yeah.
Give me those drugs. Those drugs are okay.
Yeah.
Because the doctor said they were okay, right?
Me hit my morphine pump some more. Click, click, morphine pump. I don't do drugs. Not me. Click, click, click.
Absolutely. This is one of the things I tell you guys on a weekly basis. Plant medicine has been around for thousands of years, guys. Plant medicine has been around for thousands of years. If you look back, I mean, a lot of medications that were out there, they had cannabis in it. It tell you 40% indica cannabis oil in it. Why? Because they knew the medicinal benefits that was in it. You know,
THC and the tinctures and stuff back in the day, of course.
Yeah, this is why that was in it, because they knew the medicinal benefits that you could get from using cannabis on a regular basis, right? And this is one of the things, like me, you guys already know my story. I work for the Air Force. I was put in for a top secret clearance that I wasn't required to have, and I self-identified, and I told them, they asked me, do you smoke weed? Yeah, I smoke weed. You're fucking right, I smoke weed. I went to Iraq twice. I got to do shit and see shit and put my body through shit that you would never, ever even have nightmares about. So I use cannabis to treat my PTS, my anxiety, my depression, my body aches and pains. That's what I use cannabis for. It's medicine. Right? I don't want to take the Oxycontin. I don't want to take the morphine fucking drip. I don't want to take all the fucking painkillers, the Seroquel, the Ambien, all the other bullshit that's out there. I don't want to take it because I know what it can do to my body.
And the fucking this and the
right. And this is
Lexapro, lorazepam.
I know what it can do to my body, and I don't like the way it makes me feel. Do I want to be a zombie? I can go to the VA hospital and say I want to feel like a zombie, and they'll put me on whatever cocktail they think that I need to be a zombie.
Oh yeah,
you know, no, I want to be able to function. Like I tell people, when I was able to smoke, I was high every fucking day. I enjoy being high. I enjoy being outside of my head. I enjoy it. I can function at 100%.
I do too.
I can work. I can go to work. I can do my job. I can get shit done that needs to get done.
Me too.
I'm not stoned out of my mind to where I'm not doing it. There's a time and a place for it. I can get me a nice indica, watch a movie, and there's a time and a place. But when you're working, hey, you have to know what strains. You have to know what terpenes, what strains,
exactly.
What works, what will make you feel comfortable to where you're not fucking hurting. And like you said, you blend a CBD flower with a THC flower so you get the medicinal benefits of CBD and THC. Because when they work together, it's like I tell you guys, when CBD and THC work together, it's phenomenal. It's harmony, dude. Like it literally CBD is an anti-inflammatory. What? Your body is is inflamed. Your body is inflamed tremendously. Everybody's waking up with sore shoulders, hips, back, knees. When you put a good CBD flower with a good THC flower, dude, it's like euphoric, dude. Like you're like, oh damn, I don't hurt anymore.
I can't get out of bed right away. I can't jump out of bed because I have muscle spasms very bad. Right. It takes me about 20 minutes, and I have to do it slow. It's a process, but it starts with my vape. I start hitting that fucking vape. I start hitting a sativa vape. I start slowly moving, sit up. Okay, stretch my back at this. All right. Okay, I go to stand. My legs get the chicken dance for a while. Goes up and down my spine. Ooh, I hold on to something. I let it ride. I let it go through, work system, and then start moving a little bit. Then I can, got to bend, put my sock on, But the cannabis is what makes me doing it. You understand? I can't do it. When I get up, I do it. And this is my medicine. This is my energy. This takes me and automatically switches me into a positive frame of mind, up mood, and going, hey, stop fucking complaining because nobody can fuck, Robert. get off your ass. And that's what I do.
Right.
You're right. And I just get up, you know.
No,
you're in pain and so is everybody else. Get off your ass. Let's go. And that's what it does for me.
Absolutely, bro. And that's one of the biggest things. That's why I tell you guys, whenever you
So
guys...
anyway, I got my own podcast. I got my own merch now. I got my own shirts, Stone Sailor shirts. I want to put that on your thing. I'll send it to you.
It'll be all in there. So everything,
you know.
everything for the Stone Sailor will be. You guys already know, will be in the description box. How to reach out to him, how to get some of his swag. Because a lot of you guys are sailors. You guys that are watching the show, you guys are sailors, right? Part of the Marines, right? You got a lot of you guys, and I know you guys would like to have some of the swag to be able to walk around.
Right.
Like, look at this, the Stone Sailor, you know. And this is what it's about, guys. Is
all I knew is that Marines came onto the ship when I was doing my sea duty. And when Marines came on the ship, we did them a bird. They would do that field day every Thursday.
Yeah,
and they would clean that whole fucking barrack. Boy, it would be spotless down there. You know, sailors can't clean like that. They don't clean berthing like that.
No, every Thursday's field day. Every Thursday's field day. We always had Thursday field days. That's how it always was.
Thursday's field day, right? They still do that, right? Field day Thursday.
Field day Thursday. That's what it was for us.
You got field day every fucking thing on
every Thursday, man. But that's one of the biggest things, guys, that I tell you guys about. Rob, the Stone Sailor, has found his purpose, right? He found how cannabis helped save his life. He's able to walk again. He is up walking around now after they told him. The doctors told him, you will never be able to walk again. And he has a brother that comes in and says, hey, I need you to try this real quick. I need you to see how this makes you feel, because I want to make sure I'm getting you the right blend.
Yeah. What have you got to lose?
What do you have to... You can't walk. You can't run away from me.
Look, really? And I'm like, you're right. I got nothing to lose. I could be, because I'm thinking all these pills they're giving me, because the doctor's telling me it's okay. I'm thinking, I don't do drugs. I don't take, it's a drug. I'm not taking that drug. Right. Thinking, what a fucking, that's the way we're brainwashed. We're brainwashed. You know, I used to remember I was a military police. I worked drug detector dogs. I used to sweep mail, cars, everything for drugs. I used to hold marijuana and plant it for dogs and everything. Now, you know, now you can't give me marijuana like that. Now I'll smoke it. But back in those days, I wouldn't. It didn't matter. I had a whole listen to me. I was in charge of a whole narcotic safe. I had ecstasy, cocaine, heroin, marijuana, hash, meth. Yeah, I had like 7 odors. And I had it in a safe. Real drugs. I had to get a DEA registration number, and I would plant these drugs for the dogs to find. You know, I had to get all that. And every time I pulled the drug out, I'd have to weigh it and then put it back in. I'd have to weight it, and there'd have to be a witness to sign the weight, 2-person integrity in the safe, you know? So I was in charge of all that shit, you know? And you know, because I was a guy that believed that, you know, we go out there. I mean, in the military and the military bases, yeah, you want to keep hard drugs and stuff. You want to keep drugs off of military bases. You want to keep things like that out of military bases. That's where it should be used for. But when we're talking about regular law enforcement in the States, marijuana should be 100% legal. We should not be wasting our money prosecuting people for marijuana. And people that are caught with small amounts of drugs, cocaine, heroin, it should be just like Oregon did. They write them a ticket, they confiscate it, and they can either pay $200 or they could do a 2-day drug course and they don't have to pay nothing. So the whole purpose is, and it's the same thing every time, whether they're called once or 100. And you hope that one time maybe one of those classes may stick. Maybe something may stick. But if they're not out robbing people, and they're not committing against themselves.
They're not committing a crime.
Being a drug addict is a disease. Would you put someone in jail for having a diabetes or something that needed, you know what I mean? If they're not committing crimes and they're just getting high, who are they hurting other than themselves?
Right. No, absolutely. It's not. It's like you said.
I don't want my tax dollars going for this. Courts and all this and jail, put the guy in jail. We got to pay for everything, 3 meals a day, medical, dental, all this stuff because the guy likes to use drugs.
No shit, because he likes to use drugs, and now we got to pay. We got to use tax dollars, money
and some people,
feed them,
my brother was a functioning drug addict. He used drugs, but he went to work every day. There's a lot of people, if they're not committing crimes, my point is, if they're not dealing and trafficking and they're not committing crimes and they're just getting high, that should not be against the law. Take all that energy and money and put it into arresting these child traffickers and pedophiles.
Yeah.
That they just want to seem, I don't know. It's like they want to protect these guys because when they're in prison, they're like a fucking protected class of species.
Right.
You know,
right.
They protect those pedophiles big time in prison.
No, absolutely.
So,
and that's what I tell people. I said, what's sad is that you can catch a guy with a dime sack in his pocket and he'll spend more time in prison than a pedophile will.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
It's ridiculous.
That's absolutely bullshit, you know. And
it's going to be up to us, all these veterans that come back from Iraq, Afghanistan, that marijuana, cannabis, and even now we're psilocybin, mushrooms, all that stuff is helping us. Yeah. And that's great. I've microdosed mushrooms. They're wonderful. Yeah. All these things, and they're, you know, and I wish I had more access to them so I can go back and forth, and you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
It's up to us because these old farts, they need to go. They're so disconnected that they need to go. We need more veterans to advocate, and we need more veterans to run for office. Because this cannabis, I serve my time. You're supposed to pay for my medicine. So every month I got to come out of my pocket for my cannabis. That's not fair to me. You said you would cover that for me.
Right, absolutely, brother. And this is one of the biggest things, right? You guys already know that I associate with the We for Warrior Project, Veteran Action Council, just these amazing Balanced Veterans Network, all these nonprofits that are advocating for medical freedom, for allowing us to be able to having the VA either pay for our medicine or reimburse us our medicine, whatever it comes down to. But we have to stand up and advocate, like Rob is saying. Us as veterans, we have to stand up for our community and allow our voices to be heard and say, hey, this is ridiculous. We are here and you're supposed to be helping us, right? I mean, it's not a joke. Everybody sees it, right? Everybody sees the memes and the shirts, the VA giving the veteran another opportunity to die for their country, right? Because it's true. It's true. They will shove you full of freaking painkillers so you don't have to deal with the pain versus providing you a natural-based medicine to be able to be like, oh,
and
the pain's not there.
And then if, God forbid, they decide to take those pain pills away from you, guess what? They're just trying to make you a criminal then. Because now you're gonna run out and get them illegally, and now you're gonna end up in jail and in some veterans court bullshit drug program that you shouldn't even be in the first fucking place.
Right.
So,
absolutely, brother.
Trust me, I got their fucking number. I'm gonna fix their wagon. Trust me, I got their number. You just wait.
No, absolutely, brother. Well, shit, brother, we're getting close to the end of the show. How do you want to leave these guys to be able to find you, check you out, check out your swag and everything like that?
The Stone Sailor on YouTube. You can find me on Rob Barlow Instagram. I also have the Stone Sailor on Instagram too. I got that domain. Check me out there. Follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Mob Swag is the site where you can buy my merchandise. I have sweaters. I have shirts. They're really nice. I don't have one on me now. I have one. You've seen them, right?
Yeah.
I have my cups. So go ahead and check that out. Look, Mother's Day coming up. Buy your mom a cup. Buy her a Stone Sailor shirt, Stone Sailor shower curtain, a Stone Sailor lamp, a Stone Sailor hoodie, a Stone Sailor cell phone case, mouse pad, and hopefully soon to be Stone Sailor hat, rolling papers, and maybe even a sexy bikini for the young ladies out there that are the fans of the Stone Sailor. Could you imagine my face right in the center there of a bikini? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. There's a couple chicks that even volunteered the model. Like come up with the thing. I will put them on my website, you know.
No shit.
So yeah, check it out. I got a lot of stuff. I got a big collection. But eventually, I want legalization. I want the records expunged. I'm pushing for that. And of course, I'm pushing for the VA to reimburse us on our cannabis. And I'm really looking forward to, I have my podcast. I talk about my life, my military career, my prison career, how I paralyzed my recovery, my therapy. I lived all over the world. I lived in Europe for 5 years, Asia for 3 years. I was in the Middle East for 2 years. I was in California even. I consider that another country. You know, because I'm originally from Philadelphia. So when they send me to California, and I'm on the road one time, and I rent a car in Los Angeles, and I'm going down the highway, and this is like in the 90s and shit. And I'm looking at fucking the street signs, and it's like Crenshaw and fucking this, and I'm like, oh Jesus, don't turn in there. That's the fucking Boys in the Hood shit there, you know. Crenshaw and fucking, I'm driving. I'm like, man, I hope this car don't run out of fucking gas, man.
Right.
So I'm fucking driving. Then I get to like Rodeo Drive, and there's a fucking guy with a mohawk, Speedo, and rollerblades, and he's going up the fucking sidewalk. I'm like, this place is crazy. $25 for a fucking turkey sandwich at a gas station. I'm like, California is another fucking world, man.
It is. It's its own fucking.
But they got
place.
great weed.
Right. Absolutely, man. Rob, I appreciate it, brother. I think we're going to have a great future together. The Stone Vet and the Stone Sailor coming together to help.
Definitely, man.
Because, I mean, we're both got the same mission. We're both fighting for federal legalization. So I know we have a great future together. We're going to have some great things coming together and just doing some awesome things, guys. Definitely. Guys, like I tell you guys every week, man, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And if you're on YouTube, hit that button, subscribe. We got to grow our numbers. The only way we can grow our numbers, get the word out to other brothers in our community, is that you share this content on a regular basis, however you're watching. If you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google, however you listen to podcasts, leave me a 5-star review. If it starts hitting the algorithms, then this will start getting out there to a lot more people. And guess what? We won't be losing as many brothers and sisters as we're losing every single day. Like I tell you guys every episode, right now we're losing a brother or sister while you listen to this show, and it sucks. And we, as our community, needs to fight that. We need to fight the fight and make sure that they have help and get the access that they need to understand, hey, there's other stoners on this there's other stoners that are veterans in this fucking world. You damn right. Because we know the medicinal benefits that we get when we use cannabis. So make sure you subscribe and share that. Don't forget to go check out my sponsor, Rafa 180. Like I tell you guys, provide you medicinal grade CBD. Hey, not only that, if you go to rafa180.com, if you go to the little tab that says the Stone Vet, you get you some cool ass cups. It's starting to warm up outside. You're gonna need something to keep you.
I got one of those too, by the way. Stone Sailor's got his cups too.
Exactly. Why not have 2 of them, man? You could have 2 of these fucking cups, the Stone Vet and the Stone Sailor, man. I got shirts coming. I got shirts. I got hoodies. I got socks. I got coffee cups too. Go check it out, dude. I'm telling you, man. You got some great stuff out there, man. It's like I tell you guys every week, man. Don't ever think that you're alone. You're not alone. There's other crazy ass motherfuckers like us out here doing it. We will give you a reason. We'll help you find your purpose if that's one of the things that you're struggling with, man. Go and freaking don't ever become a statistic. Don't get on the government spreadsheet and be like, oh, so-and-so took his life. We'll check it off and we don't have to pay his benefits no more. No. You're more important than that, dude. There's a purpose here for you. Don't ever think that there isn't, because there's a reason why you're still here. Let me or let Rob from the Stone Sailor help you find your purpose. Let's help get you on the track that you want to be on so that you are able to get an understanding of where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing in this life. You're very important, brothers and sisters. I love you guys so much. I thank you guys for hanging out with us, doing this episode, enjoying our camaraderie and the time together, man. Remember, guys, here at the Stone Vet, we got you 6.
I stay alert for my enemies trying to do me some harm. I fight for your freedom of speech and your right to bear arms. When I say I got your 6, that means I got your back. But what else would you expect coming from the Stone Vet? 1, 2, 3, 4 for my country. I go home.